Yay. So we got this thing on and popping. So welcome to another edition of She Is Magazine. I am here with the lovely Naya B. Matthews. And I'm so excited that she's created this space for us. We're just going to jump right into the interview. It's Mother's Day month, and we celebrate all things women. And so I reached out to her, of course, via Facebook. The inbox thing makes you feel like people. I share that with Naya, and so she's my cousin, and I've been knowing her for over 5 years.
Oh, cousin.
We just been missing the family reunion. So Naya, please introduce yourself to everyone. Tell us who you are and all the wonderful things that you want to share with us.
Absolutely. I am a certified life coach, master life coach. I am an author, motivational speaker. I am an NFL wife. I am a mother. I am a business entrepreneur, turned now retired. So I wear many hats, but that's exactly who I am.
You left out one thing that I love about you.
Wait, I'm a two-time breast cancer survivor. Did I mention that? Organic farmer. And did I mention that?
That too, but something I commented on your Facebook that you're a chicken mama, and so that
I'm a chicken mama.
so I was like, dang, she's a Black girl chicken mama. Ain't that something? You don't hear that every day. But all of the titles and the hats and the different roles we play as women, they're ever evolving, they're ever changing. And sometimes it can seem like it's a whole heck of a lot on our shoulders. And so wearing that well and looking as good as you look and getting it all done, I celebrate you for that. Celebrate you for your accomplishments. But I just kind of want to just jump right in. So out of all of the titles and the certifications and all the things that you bear and wear, what do you believe is your God-given calling? Like when you turn the lights off at night and you're sitting down in the totality of everything and who you are and who people think you are, because of course, like I said, social media has given us this unique ability to think that we know somebody from the outside looking in. But at the end of the day, what do you believe is your God-given calling?
Wow, that is such a broad answer because each
Yeah,
season in your life you become something, right?
love it.
And I'm just be trying to stay tuned to listen what he want me to do in each season. So my bio always constantly pivots because we're always wearing so many hats.
Hmm.
But ultimately, I think I was one of those life coaches before there was ever such a thing, the person that kind of helped, the catalyst to help you, streamline what it is you're supposed to do in your life.
Hmm.
And my whole life, people have always just, opened up to me. They don't know me from a can of paint, but
Yeah,
feel the need to share their entire life with me, strangers.
yeah.
So I think that's ultimately my goal, is to just be a beacon of light and help negate you to whatever it is you need to do or go in your life.
That's awesome because when you have a God-given assignment or calling or something that really comes naturally to you, it seems like what you just shared with us is that it flows to you. You don't
Yeah.
have to chase it.
No, absolutely not. And sometimes I don't welcome it. I just want to go to the store, or I just want to go here, do something. But I find myself ministering to people, giving them a word, giving them thus said the Lord, giving them inspiration, sometimes not even expecting to do it, but I realize that's my calling. So I walk in it, I own it. That's who I am. And I think that's why I was put here on this earth, is to do just that.
That is so powerful. And when you own that and realize the awesome assignment, I say this all the time: God can do anything through us. He can do anything through us, and specifically women. When I say us, and I say this, if God can partner with us to make humans,
Yes.
then there is absolutely nothing that he can accomplish. Me plus God. I've got a friend, she's also a life coach. Her name is Sean Strickland. Shout out Sean. And she says, you can do anything when you got Google and the Holy Ghost. And
Absolutely. God will put a super on your natural to do just about anything. So I just like, we just gotta welcome it and just walk in our calling and not fight with it, because it's never gonna go nowhere.
Yes, and we use the word calling and God-given assignment, but I do recognize that you occupy the space for marketplace ministry. And so you're in rooms where it's not a temple, it's not church, and we have to share, we've somehow weave that message in of the creator, of what God called us to do. How do you navigate those spaces, at the intersection of doing business and fusing your faith with it without asking people to turn to the book of Matthew?
That is so funny. That is so true though. Like I get so sometimes weirded out with the way that God moves me, right? And he says that he was going to put me in an atmosphere where it's not traditional,
Yes.
right? It's going to be people who maybe felt like they've been church hurt, or that's not the scene they want to be, they don't go to church at all, whatever that thing is. But God always finds a way. He's such a gentleman. He always finds his way to come in the atmosphere and you know that it's him. And he just kind of uses me and my influence and my being just to be, like I said, a catalyst to that atmosphere. Mm-hmm. And it's so crazy because I never in my life thought that I would be doing just that. Yeah. I've been in real estate for 20 years.
Shout out to real estate.
Okay. And he was like, you need to learn, it's time to pivot. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I love my life. I love my, what I'm doing. I love the fruits of my labor. He's like, no, he says, in this season, you're going to be bringing women to Christ. And I'm like, huh?
Right.
And this is like, what? But he says, I'm going to do it in a way that's not going to be so churchy. It's going to be in a marketplace. And so that means I had to be in tune to him because he had the blueprint, because I didn't know what to do, how he was going to use me. But I had a listening ear and a listening heart to understand exactly how he was going to strategically place me in this marketplace. And by doing that, that's how Soul Food Sessions with Naya was birthed. It was literally God giving me the blueprint, and I had to really write this thing out to maneuver it and to do it. And now it's grown legs, and look at me now.
That's great. Because a lot of times I think what transformation looks like is transformation looks different for other people. Ministry and assignments and callings look so different for other people. And I am in real estate as well, and I believe how you do a thing is how you do everything. So in my desire to help people, to elevate people, to get people to think new thoughts and dream new dreams, I'm able to do that in my real estate business. I'm able to do that in coaching. So I appreciate and it's nothing new, but I appreciate the way that God has navigated your life in order to share who he is, and also, be on a TV interview or, through your Soul Food Sessions.
Exactly. And it's like our grace is out in the forefront, right? People see the light without you having to open your mouth. Mm-hmm. We don't even have to try hard, because all you do is they see him through us.
Yes.
And I am very intentional about my business, my family, my life. I do want you to see that light with everything that I do, from integrity to, to the way I walk, because the foundation is God. And when you have that, listen, I just take my hands off it, because God said he don't need no help. Right. And I walk in my calling and just do just like that. So, yeah.
And I love, social media, again, people share what they want, but I love how the pieces of your life that you wanted to share, that you've shared with us. And you mentioned being a 2-time breast cancer survivor. So I'll just jump right into that. And the amount of faith that it must have taken. But aside from that, the human aspect, I say this a lot, that people show you their highlight reels. My son makes highlight reels. He plays basketball. He coaches basketball. So there's never a reel where he's going to miss a shot. There's never a reel where he's going to miss a dunk. So we tend to believe that everything is always Gucci in people's lives, when it's really not. When there are dark days. So tell me about one of the, what you want to share, being a 2-time breast cancer survivor, and what it took. And then I want to pivot to that, because people always talk about what cancer takes. It takes your hair, it takes your energy. Sometimes it takes your happiness, But what did you, and it's a two-part question, what did cancer give you? Not what did it take away? Because we always look at the portions of us that it took from us, or the people that, are survivors.
That's true. Curse was cancer was a curse that saved my life,
Mm.
because I was going down a path that probably was not going to lead me to soul food sessions, right?
Mhm.
You know, your boss women, we're buying bags and
Yes.
houses and Benzes and having the light. And I was just going down this path of, to me, it was just things. But God wanted to do a new thing inside of me. And I'm not going to say, sometimes I know the end goal of, with cancer is death, but
Yeah.
it was the curse that saved my life, because he allowed me to see what was really important. He was systematically putting things in alignment that I needed to see early on, where some people don't get the opportunity to see it early on. It's too
Mhm.
late. So and then so by getting cancer, the book came and the coaching came. And I'm
Yes.
like, okay, God, I see what you're doing right there. I see what you're doing. And so he knew that by saving my life, I was going to tell the people about the goodness of God and his healing power and his miracle signs and wonders. And so through that, I didn't have to tarry too long, because he brought me back to, full formation of seeing what God could really do,
Mm-hmm.
and how I still walk in that thing. And not just from cancer, but from COVID. And even now I'm going through a storm of, I got a tumor in my leg, and you wouldn't know I have a tumor in my leg. I post my treatments at night online. And people, Naya, what kind of machine is that? And I said, you know what? Even through my struggles, I still smile, because
Oh,
I
girl.
still know the healing power that God has. So I gotta walk it like I talk it.
Yes.
And I'm walking with victory. So
Yes.
despite the things that I'm going through, I still speak victory. I still speak healing. And through that, that's why I'm able to still smile. That's why I'm able to still live and still do my calling. Because I know on the other end of that is going to be either a lesson, a story, a testimony, or something. And so I still smile.
That's so great, Naya. But there, we have a tendency, some people, not us, not the people in this on this Zoom, but people have the tendency just to give up at the slightest, what doesn't happen, and oh, they didn't support me, and you see the post and probably hear the chatter, of people that are launching businesses or whatever it is that their God-given assignment. I want you to specifically speak to that, to the people that want to give up, or haven't quite figured it out, or they just need some encouragement.
Well, and that's true, so true. As you're going through the season in life, you're not gonna. It'd be your own family. Let's just be clear,
Your
okay?
own
It'd
people.
be your own family that don't support you or don't buy your product or whatever the case may be. But you got to ask yourself, why are you doing it? Right? We got to develop the tough skin, because sometimes it does. It's people who you think would go to the top, but God does this thing with me. He pruned the people that was around me, right? Because everybody's not going to go to the top with you.
Right.
And sometimes they say it's lonely at the top, and sometimes it is, but he would give you exactly what you need. Even when I started writing my book, I had a lot of people who I thought that was going to be on this journey with me, and they kind of like just fell off. But what he did was he added the necessary people that I needed in that season, and I didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
So I think that sometimes we have to, realize that everybody's not going to be your fan. Everybody is not going to be a supporter. And ask yourself, why are you doing it? And if you remember the why, then guess what? You ain't gonna worry about who do or don't do. It's not gonna be a big deal, because if that's your God-given purpose, you're gonna succeed, baby. With
Yes.
or without them, in that order.
Yes. So, segue right into the next question. How do you define success? Because that's so different for everybody. It could be a 5-figure month. It could, you see all these 7-figure this and 6-figure that, and I had a this figure month. But I tell women all the time, if you made an extra $500 in your business this month, maybe celebrate that 3-figure win. Like, don't let the 5-figure people
Right.
stop you from celebrating where you are. You got to own the bottom, wherever that is, wherever you are. You got to own that and use that as a foundation, a firm foundation.
That's so true. I don't with me when I see people or captives being set free, when I see them walking in their calling, I don't add money to that because think about it. We're in real estate. We make amazing money.
Yes.
So for me to walk away from that and not realizing where that money was coming, I ain't skipped beat. You understand? My bank account ain't changed because now I'm doing something that is divine. It's a divine calling. We all got the divine calling.
Yes.
But it's up to us to know it, to feel it, to be it. And when you own that thing, the money will come. But personally, it's when I see people who are literally walking in their calling, when they're being set free, when the strongholds and the chains are broken, when I see them smiling, when I see that's my payment. And because I'm such a serving person and understand about when you know what gives me when I see people just all the time talk about money. Money, 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 money. And I don't want to go scripture on it, but I just what are we worshiping, right? Because you see some of the most richest people still commit suicides. You see the most richest people the loneliest. So what are we happy for? You understand? So I don't like to attract, like put money with happiness. Now it's good to have money. Don't get me wrong now. Hold on. Gotta have it because we still take dominion over the earth. We can still have amazing things on this earth, but I'm not tied to just the money factor. It's bigger than that. And when people understand what true happiness means, trust me, they'll be better off. And it's not always about money.
You are preaching today, honey. This interview ain't going nothing like I thought, but I'm in it. I'm here for it. I absolutely love it. I love the freedom that you're coming with. I really do. I love that. So with self-care is a big thing. Mental health is a big thing. Coming, still being in the midst of a pandemic. Your beautiful story that you shared, with your recovery from COVID and your video when you came out the room and hugged your husband and your daughter. I was like, oh, Jesus. I tell you, I've been watching you for a long time, girl.
I watched the video the other day and cried still because I remember the moment. I remember.
And so there have been so many moments and, in these past 24 months, and just so much has happened to our mental space. Just something as simple as not being able to go outside, not being able to gather with friends, and just the dynamics of what we took for granted on a day-to-day basis. My son being able to go to school, being able to share with his friends. So our mental health and mental care issues, I believe, were slightly compromised.
Yes.
And I don't want to attach the stigma to Black people or Black women in our culture, but a lot of times we just forge through. We just keep it going. I mean, it's that I got to get it done. I got to be strong. I can't have any days off, that kind of stuff. But mental care and self-help is so important, and I know you advocate for that. And so let's talk about that for a minute, because there's something that people that a term that I became familiar with the past couple of months is high functioning depression.
Yes.
And so that whole high functioning depression made me really sit down and try to figure out, hey, am I operating in this space? Because I really need to check myself if I'm operating in this space. If I have not created space for myself, if I have not slowed down enough to say, hey girl, are you okay? Right. Or are you packing in busy to fill spaces that are empty for whatever reason? So let's talk about self-care, mental care, and the need for it.
I've seen this culture that everybody's hustling. Everybody just go, go, go. And way before the pandemic came, I just seen people were on this, it's like a sprint. And I'm such a marathon person. Like I'm here for the long haul. Yeah. So that means I have to learn how to take breaks along the way and celebrate along the way. But this hustler mentality, I just see them burning the candle on both ends to me. And what happens with that, our body starts to fail, right? We can't even sit still. People are exhausting me. When I'm scrolling on social media, I'm so tired for them. I'm like, what? And I get it. There's a season to work and
Yes.
there's a season to rest.
Yes.
And you have to use your wisdom to discern when it's time to work and when it's time to rest. But if you never rest, trust me, your body will tell you that, your mental will tell you that. And
Yeah.
I noticed that with the pandemic, people were starting, they had no choice but to sit.
Yes.
And they can't even be their own company. But I saw it as a reason, I saw it as a way to reset. I think the nation needed a reset when the pandemic came.
Wow.
Things needed to be control, alt, delete, or we had to sit down and really, really analyze where we were in our lives.
Yes.
And so I know the pandemic, as gory and how awful it could have been, I think it saved families. I think it saved marriages. I think it gave us another, another way of looking at life. And I am an advocate for self-care. Tuesdays, my calendar is blocked. You can't call me. I ain't coaching. I ain't doing nothing. Just whatever I want to do that day, that's my day to reset.
Yes.
And I think that if we do that, it develops like a balance so that all the parts of our life can work. It could flow together, because you can't be over here hustling to the day you die. What's the song? I think it's Young Jeezy, and I know it's an old song, but he says, I sleep when I die.
Yeah.
I said, how that work? How that work, sister? I don't understand, because I wanna enjoy the fruits of my labor. I want to rest.
Absolutely. And that's self-sabotage. That's a direct violation of self-care. It's like, you got to take care of this one. We only have one body. We only get one body, and we have to sufficiently manage that. And I love the idea of taking your day.
Yes.
I'm
And
gonna
it's non-negotiable.
adopt that. I'm gonna adopt that. I don't know which day I'm gonna pick, but I'm going to consciously adopt that. I love that.
My husband has now taken that on. At first, he couldn't quite understand it, but I heard him on a Zoom call telling his buddies. He was like, listen, we got to do a self-care day. And if you see me living my best life, I'm on the boat on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
I may be in a spa on a Tuesday, or I may just want to just eat Crunch and Munch and watch Lifetime all day. That's my day. And that's non-negotiable.
And there's so much guilt that comes from downtime. That's for me. I own that. I'm not gonna put that on anybody else. I had gotten to the point where I'm like, if I wasn't doing something, I'm not productive. If I'm not doing something, I'm missing out on an opportunity where I could be doing something. So just gathering your thoughts, taking all those thoughts captive, and actually being intentional in the moment is something for the whole month of April. This was my intentional month, where I'm on my chill zone. When I went to see my daughter, she's like, your energy shifted. I'm like, because I'm not doing that foolishness no more.
Right. And
I feel so much better.
Listen, I'm in this season right now, and I keep using that word season because I know it's going to shift. Just like you got winter, spring, summer, fall. We all have our seasons. And in one of these seasons, I am a chicken mama. I am gardening. I'm like, Lord, whatever you're doing, because I went from living in the city, stilettos, business, briefcases, to now I'm a whole chicken mama. I'm a whole farmer. And I'm like, okay, God, what are you trying to teach me?
Building fabulous decks out there in the country.
Building, exactly. But anything will preach to you if you let it. But I had to get in a place of stillness so that I could understand what he was trying to teach me, because maybe now I'm like, okay, God, I get it. You want me to teach our people how to live off our land. You want us to teach us how to grow our own foods. You want to teach how to homestead. So that's the lesson that I'm getting. And of course, I serve the people. So once I learn, I'm teaching and I'm sharing the lesson.
That's
so
great.
I tell us we need to just really be cognizant and be present so that we can be in tune to where he wants us to go. Because that's the blueprint, baby.
And I love the fact that you keep, and that's a good coach, that you keep it in the road, that you keep giving this, you keep saying the same things, and about your assignment, what you're keenly aware of in the moment, in the season, in the space that you're in right now. And I think that if we could get in that zone and just kind of a self-awareness, like, okay, let me pause for a minute, let me see what's up, let me see where I am now, because you cannot, if you're lying to yourself where you currently are, there's no way that you can build truth on a foundation of a lie. You just can't do it.
Absolutely. And we get stale. I wanted fresh oil. And in order to get fresh oil, I had to do something different. Oftentimes, us creatives, our visionaries, we get stale from time to time. And I needed a fresh rhema. So
Yeah.
I'm out here in the country and I'm trying to capture it so that I can always be, he give us a niche. And it's just like I'm just being in tune with it so that we can stay fresh, learn the lesson, teach the people, and keep moving. That's what I'm doing.
Yes, that's so. I love this style of ministry. I do. I love marketplace ministry. Absolutely love it. Well, our time is winding up. I just have two more questions for you. What has been your greatest challenge, whether it be in your business, in your personal life? What has been one of your greatest challenges that you've overcome?
Uh, leaving, going into marketplace ministry, like going from making the six figures, being boss lady, to now doing ministry and learning how to put those together. You understand? That's been it's different. It's a foreign place to me.
Yes.
So that's why I had to withdraw from a lot of people or retreat away so that I can get what I was learning in that space. And that was hard for me because we real estate for 20 years. That's all I knew is how to go out here and just be boss chick.
Yes.
But he was like, we're gonna be boss chick, but you're gonna attract these other boss chicks, and then you're gonna teach them how you're able to pivot into this part of your life. And so it's been uncomfortable, scary.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it because now this is just another version of Naya that I'm giving to people. We wear many hats, but this is just another version of me. So get into it because I ain't no telling what I'm gonna be doing at the end of the year, child.
That's so funny. Let me ask you a question. I know people are listening, but this is just for me and you talk. So I started out, I was a preacher, like literally, and God shifted. It just shifted. Like, I mean, I still minister, but I'm avid. I'm deep in this marketplace. So for me, and I would have this conversation with my husband all the time. So I'm asking this question of you. I would suffer with guilt. I feel guilty that for now owning another space, for occupying something that felt different, but it was that my messages were always kind of intertwined with dreaming big. And I even had a conference that I'm relaunching, this Dream Big, and I was teaching people how to live beyond self-limited beliefs, and talking about the word of God. But it went so much bigger than that. Dreaming big now includes, okay, you need to get your credit straight if you want to buy a house. Dreaming big also means you can be debt free. Dreaming big also means you don't have to have a Louis Vuitton handbag at your level. You at an Aldo level, sis. Get your bag from Aldo, and save and like put the other $600 in your Aldo bag.
Right.
And so for me, I was guilty, felt guilty. So that's my question. Was there any, like, do you ever like feel any kind of guilt for how what you do?
No, I really don't. If anything, I was a little afraid of how people were going to accept me because they've known me to be one way.
Yes.
And I know I don't have the titles. I'm not saying I'm no first lady, I'm no prophetess or anything like that, because unbeknownst to me, they've been watching me. So and now I'm starting to see some.
They is me. They've been watching you. I'm they.
So one of my favorite prophets, Jackie Fleming, she came over here the other day and she said, Naya, she says, people been waiting to see what you're gonna do next. I'm like, who waiting? She's like, you got first ladies, pastors. I said, but that ain't the title I have. She says, you march to the beat of your own drum.
Yes.
And so when you are a trailblazer, when you are a visionary, I do put on the blinders. I do, because sometimes I get in my own head and get intimidated sometimes and think about what others are saying. And he was like, wait a minute, Naya, first of all, I made you how I made you. This was already in your mother's womb. I made you just like you were. So
Yeah.
I just need you to stay focused on what I'm showing you. So that's why I pulled away from social media. That's why I stopped talking to certain people, because I'm still trying to process where he's taking me.
Hmm.
But I'm still here for it though, because and I know we are beacons of light. We are trailblazers. We ain't to be messed with. And because of that, sometimes it could be scary.
Yes,
But
scary and different.
yeah, it's different. Yeah, but I welcome it. I
Yeah.
welcome it because
Yeah.
if it don't make you afraid, it ain't big enough. And
Oh,
so
I love it.
we walking in this thing, sister, to collectively, because
Yes.
I'm watching you too, and
Yes.
you're owning it. And I love it because we're able to pull all kinds of people from all walks of life
Yes.
and make the biggest impact by doing that. So
That
I
is
will.
that is so awesome. So my closing question to date, what has been your greatest achievement?
Being on farming. I'm not gonna Yes, yes, because it intimidates a lot of people, but I'm welcoming it because now there's grants for Black farmers.
Yes.
There's money available to us that wasn't always there, so I'm able to tap into that
Yes.
and show our people how to eat healthy and grow your own food and live off your land and understand about true wealth.
Yes.
And when you learn how to do that,
Mm.
oh, the sky's the limit, baby, because now we the inflation, what inflation? We blessed over here.
Yes. Yes. Well, I think we have sufficiently tapped in today.
Yes, yeah, and thank you so much for using your platform to even
Absolutely.
just for little old me. Thank you so much. I
We
for the,
know you. I loved it. And like I said, I've been watching you and I so appreciate who you are to women.
thank
There's not a lot of us with the same mindset, but I am so honored to just be able to sit here and listen and get nuggets from you and share you with our readers. So thank you so much for creating this space. I'm coming to the whatever the next is you having brunch slash something. I don't know.
retreat. The retreat is coming.
When is the retreat? Let's go ahead, put it out there. Put your social media
No,
stuff out
it's
there.
we have not have a definite date. We just
Okay.
locked in the location on where
Okay.
it's gonna be. So stay tuned, stay connected to everything Soul Food Sessions with Naya. You know the retreat sell out as soon as I
Yes.
post it. So,
Yes.
but because you directly because
Because
I text you.
the last thing on the close, last thing I want to close with your book, The Boss in You, and on the front cover it says, "Don't wait for an opportunity, create one. Create one." Can you leave us with closing thoughts on that? Because a lot of times we wait for permission. And I tell people permission slips are for fifth graders to go on field trips. You don't have to get anybody's permission to live out your God ordained assignment. You don't need anybody's permission to do what he called you to do.
Absolutely. Listen, I don't wait. If I don't take no for an answer. Unless God tells me to go sit down somewhere, I'll go sit down somewhere. But other than that, we all have that divine purpose, right? It's our
Mhm.
job to know it, to feel it, and to be it. And
Mhm.
when you walk in that, who cares if you're not invited to somebody else's table? Bring your own table, create your own opportunity, create your own doorway, and in that order.
Good stuff. I tell them this. I said, okay, don't you didn't invite me to your table. Don't worry, I can eat standing up. We got
And
what
some of those tables ain't meant for us to be anyway. We want to
exactly.
collaborate, but we got to use our discernment on who we collaborate with. So
Absolutely.
use your gut, intuition, Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, and
Yes.
just make sure that it's in alignment with your purpose.
Absolutely. Well, you spoken truth today, and I love you for it. Thank you so much, Naya, for being featured in this month's magazine. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that are watching. Happy Women's. We celebrate you. You're a mother to somebody in some way, so I thank you. Happy Mother's Day to you, my new friend cousin, and I cannot wait to meet you in person.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for allowing me to be on your platform, and happy Mother's Day to you and the ladies that's watching. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.